The cold splash of water struck Jasmine like a slap from the shadows of history, drenching her swollen belly and sending rivulets cascading down her silk blouse. In that frozen instant, the upscale riverside restaurant in downtown Atlanta fell into a hush so profound it felt like the world had paused mid-breath. Forks hovered, conversations evaporated, and even the jazz melody piping through the speakers seemed to wilt under the weight of the outrage. Jasmine Cruz, 31 and 8 months pregnant with her first child, had come here to celebrate her birthday, a quiet dinner she'd planned as a surprise for her husband, Nathan, who was running late from a high-stakes meeting. She'd sat patiently for 25 minutes, ignoring the waiter's sidelong glares and deliberate delays. Now, as the water pooled at her feet, she felt her unborn daughter kick sharply, as if protesting the indignity alongside her mother. Derek Morrison, the 28-year-old waiter with a smug grin etched on his face, didn't bother masking his satisfaction. "Oops," he drawled, his voice laced with mock apology that fooled no one. "How clumsy of me. Maybe next time, stick to places where you fit in, sweetheart." The words hung in the air like poison. Jasmine's mind raced back to her childhood in a modest Atlanta suburb, where her single mother had drilled into her the art of rising above. Above the stares, the slurs, the assumptions that a black girl from the projects couldn't amount to much. But this was raw, unfiltered hatred, served up in a room full of strangers who averted their eyes rather than intervene. She wiped the water from her face with a trembling hand, her dark curls plastered to her skin. The baby kicked again, harder this time, and Jasmine placed a protective palm over her belly. "You okay in there, little one?" she whispered inwardly. Outwardly, she met Derek's gaze with a steadiness that made him falter for a split second. "Need a towel? Or maybe some change for the bus home?" Derek continued, his volume pitched for the audience. A few patrons shifted uncomfortably, but no one spoke up. Jason, a fellow waiter, hovered nearby, his face pale with second-hand embarrassment. Amanda, the assistant manager, watched from the hostess stand, her lips pressed into a thin line. Jasmine took a deep breath, channeling the resilience that had carried her through law school on scholarships and late-night shifts. "Are you sure this is how you want to play it?" she asked, her voice low and even, carrying an undercurrent of warning that wasn't quite a threat. Derek barked a laugh, turning to Jason. "Hear that? She's got attitude now. Listen, lady, this place is for folks who belong. Not, well, you know." He puffed out his chest, emboldened by the silence around him. With deliberate calm, Jasmine reached into her purse and pulled out her wallet. She laid 4 crisp $50 bills on the sodden table, $200 exactly. "For the water I didn't order," she said, her tone flat. "And your tip. Looks like you need it more than me." The money sat there like a gauntlet thrown down. Derek stared, confusion flickering across his features. He'd expected hysterics, not this icy composure. "You think that makes you better? Get out and don't come back. Places like this aren't for people like you." Jasmine rose, her movements graceful despite the weight of her pregnancy. She walked to the door, pausing only once to glance back. "You really should have checked who you're dealing with," she said softly, almost pityingly. Then she was gone, stepping into the humid Georgia night. Outside, the adrenaline crashed over her like a wave. She leaned against the brick wall, shivering as the wet fabric clung to her skin. Tears welled, but she blinked them away. This wasn't just about her. It was about every black woman who'd ever been made to feel small. And it was about her daughter, who deserved a world where this didn't happen. Pulling out her phone, she texted Nathan, *, need you now. Riverside Restaurant. Humiliated, *. The reply pinged back instantly, *, on my way. 8 minutes, *. Nathan Cruz, 36, former Navy SEAL captain with 15 years of service, 3 Purple Hearts and a chest full of medals, was wrapping up a briefing at his private security firm when the text came. His company, Cruz Security Solutions, protected everything from Fortune 500 execs to government installations. But nothing mattered more than Jasmine. He excused himself abruptly, jumped into his black SUV, and floored it through Atlanta traffic. When he pulled up, Jasmine was still trembling on the sidewalk. Seeing her soaked and vulnerable ignited a fire in him he hadn't felt since his last deployment. "What the hell happened?" he asked, wrapping her in his jacket, his voice a controlled storm. She recounted it briefly, her words clipped. "His name's Derek. Blonde, tattoo on his left arm. He did it because Because I'm black and pregnant, Nathan. Like I didn't belong. Nathan's jaw clenched. He'd grown up in a mixed neighborhood in Miami, son of a Cuban immigrant father and an African-American mother, fighting his way through prejudices that doubted a Latino black kid could lead a SEAL team. Marrying Jasmine 5 years ago had been his greatest victory. Her strength, her fire, matched his own. Now someone had dared touch his family. "Get in the car," he said gently, helping her inside. As the heater blasted, he made a call. "Tony, it's Nathan. Need a full workup on a Derek Morrison, waiter at Riverside Restaurant. Discreet, thorough. Everything, background, debts, connections." Hanging up, he squeezed Jasmine's hand. "We'll handle this. Not with fists, with facts." Back home in their spacious Buckhead home, Jasmine changed into dry clothes while Nathan paced the living room. Their house was a sanctuary. Photos of their wedding, Nathan's medals on display, Jasmine's HR awards from Starlight Hotels lining the shelves. She was the director of human resources for the chain, overseeing diversity initiatives across 200 properties. Ironically, Starlight had been eyeing Riverside for acquisition just 3 weeks prior. "I'm not letting this slide," Jasmine said, emerging in pajamas, her hand on her belly. "This isn't just about me. Our daughter." She kicked when it happened, Nathan. Like she felt it too. He pulled her into his arms. "Isabella will know her parents fight for what's right. But we do it smart. No rash moves." That night as they lay in bed, Jasmine's mind whirled. She'd built her career exposing workplace toxicities, auditing companies for discrimination patterns. Derek's act wasn't isolated, it reeked of a deeper rot. By morning she'd decided, she'd turn this personal attack into a professional takedown. Tony's dossier arrived at dawn, 47 pages on Derek. Born in a small Georgia town, he'd bounced between jobs with a history of complaints at prior gigs, mostly from minority customers. No criminal record but debts from student loans and a gambling habit. Crucially, he was a distant cousin to Riverside's owner, which explained why past reports had vanished. "There's more," Tony said over the phone. 3 complaints in 18 months at Riverside, all ignored. Assistant manager Amanda tried flagging them twice. Nathan nodded. "Good work. Keep digging on the GM, Robert Chun." Jasmine, sipping decaf coffee, flipped through the file. "This isn't random. It's systemic. I'll pose as a consultant, audit them myself." Nathan raised an eyebrow. "Risky. They might recognize you." "I'll use my maiden name, Williams. Wig glasses. They won't connect it." By afternoon she'd pitched Riverside Holdings, an external HR audit on service practices. They bit, eager for optimization. Nathan meanwhile uncovered Chun's skeletons. 5 labor suits settled quietly, all involving covered-up discrimination. That evening, over dinner, Jasmine shared her plan. "I'll observe, document. Turn his arrogance against him." Nathan watched her, pride swelling. "You're incredible. But if it gets too much, with the baby?" She smiled fiercely. "This is for her. So she grows up knowing we don't tolerate this crap." 3 days post-incident, Derek was still riding high, regaling buddies at a dive bar. "You should have seen her face," he bragged to Tyler, his beer sloshing. Pregnant or not, she had no business there. "I put her in her place." Tyler shifted. "Dude, that's messed up. What if she sues?" Derek scoffed. "Nah, people like her don't have the pull. Besides, family's got my back." Unbeknownst to him, investigators tailed his every move, compiling more dirt. Friday's staff meeting brought the audit news. Chun sweated. "Just routine. Be on your best." Amanda and Jason exchanged glances. They'd witnessed the water incident, knew it sparked this. Monday, Jasmine entered Riverside incognito. Table 6, notebook in hand. Derek approached, oblivious. "What'll it be?" "Steak, well done," she said, voice altered slightly. When he brought it rare, she politely asked for a redo. He rolled his eyes. "Sure it's not user error?" She activated her recorder, capturing his snide tone. Over hours, she timed disparities. White tables got refills in 2 minutes, black ones waited 10. She noted forgotten orders, curt replies. By lunch's end, she had timestamps, photos, audio. Derek noticed her notes. "Everything good?" "Perfect," she replied coolly, leaving a $2 tip on $80, a deliberate jab. That night, she compiled 47 pages. Stats showing 40% slower service for minorities, videos from discrete angles. Nathan reviewed it. Ironclad. But Jasmine, this could destroy him. Good, she said. He destroyed my night. Now he learns. Wednesday Derek got the HR summons. Chun reassured, formality. But in the corporate boardroom Jasmine, now unmasked, presented her findings to lawyers including Patricia Monroe. Nathan joined as security consultant, sliding Amanda's dossier, years of buried complaints. This is a powder keg, Patricia said. Class action potential. Amanda, summoned, testified, I reported 17 incidents. Chun buried them. Friday's informal meeting was Derek's undoing. He entered smiling, froze seeing the lineup. Videos played. His smiles for whites, sneers for others, the water incident. It was an accident, he stammered. Patricia, explain the smile then. Amanda interjected, he's protected because he's family. Derek paled. Chun blustered, you can't. The owner approved cleanup, Patricia cut in. You're both fired. Derek stumbled out, world crumbling. But twists awaited. Cleaning his locker he got a court notice. Jasmine's suit for $2.3 million emotional distress, plus federal probe. Googling her he discovered her exec role, Nathan Seal background. Panic set in. Social media exploded. The video viral, 8.7 M views. Derek's name synonymous with racism. Nathan arranged a meeting. Derek watched his own bigotry compiled. You targeted her for her skin, Nathan said. Consequences. 6 months later, Derek waited tables at a dingy diner, buried in $380,000 debt from settlement. His face haunted ethics classes. Delivering food one night, he knocked on Jasmine's door. She opened, Isabella in arms. Your order, he muttered. She met his eyes. My daughter's 3 weeks old. Healthy despite the stress you caused. Tears welled in his. I'm sorry. Teach her dignity's non-negotiable, she said, closing the door. Riverside, now Starlight owned, thrived under Amanda's inclusive management. Jasmine rocked Isabella. We built better, baby girl. Nathan kissed them. Empowerment isn't revenge, it's rising above. Derek, alone, pondered his ruins. Some lessons etched deep, forging change from ashes.